Among the stories that shaped the people of Israel, there's one that takes us right into the heart of a family marked by conflicts, tough decisions, and deep consequences. This is the story of Dinah, daughter of Jacob and Leah, a chapter that lays bare the complexities of human relationships and the moral dilemmas that still resonate to this day. In ancient Canaan, in a foreign land, Jacob bought a piece of land from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver. It was there that he and his family began to put down roots. Dinah, the only daughter of Jacob mentioned, in the Bible, made what seemed like a simple decision on an ordinary day. She went out to see the women of that land. But what happened next changed the course of her story, and an entire city's fate. Shechem, the prince of that land, saw Dinah walking through his city and had the terrible idea of taking her by force and lying with her. And so he did, dishonoring and humiliating her. But despite everything, Shechem ended up falling for Dinah. He spoke to her with affection and then went to his father, Hamor, saying, "Get me this young woman as my wife." When Jacob found out that his daughter Dinah had been dishonored by Shechem, he kept quiet, waiting for his sons to return from the fields where they were tending the livestock. In the meantime, Hamor, Shechem's father, went to meet with Jacob to talk. When Jacob's sons arrived and heard what had happened, they were outraged, burning with fury, because Shechem's act was a serious offense against Israel, something absolutely unacceptable. Hamor tried to negotiate, saying, "My son Shechem is deeply in love with your daughter. I ask you to give her to him as his wife. Let's become one people. You give us your daughters, and we'll give you ours. Settle among us, trade here, and acquire land in the region." Shechem also spoke directly to Dinah's brothers and father, saying, "I'll do whatever you ask. Name your price. Demand the highest dowry, the biggest gifts, and I'll pay. Just let her become my wife." Dinah's brothers, Simeon and Levi, responded cleverly to Shechem and his father, Hamor, proposing a condition that seemed peaceful on the surface. They said, "We can't give our sister to a man who isn't circumcised. That would be a disgrace to us. We'll only agree on one condition, that every male among you be circumcised, just like we are. If you accept, we'll give you our daughters, take yours for ourselves, live together, and become one people. But if you refuse, we'll take our sister and leave." These words pleased Hamor and Shechem, and they quickly agreed to the terms. Shechem, driven by his love for Dinah and as the most respected man in his family, wasted no time in following through with the deal. Hamor and Shechem then went to the city gate and convinced the local men to go along with Jacob's sons' demands. With persuasive arguments, they won over the entire community, and all the men agreed to undergo circumcision as part of the agreement. On the third day, while the men of the city were still in agony from the pain of circumcision, Simeon and Levi, Jacob's sons and Dinah's brothers, grabbed their swords and launched a surprise attack on the city, killing every single male. Among the victims were Hamor and his son Shechem, who were also struck down by the sword. After that, the brothers rescued Dinah from Shechem's house and took her away. Jacob's other sons arrived later, and when they found the bodies, they looted the city as payback for the dishonor their sister had suffered. They took the flocks, cattle, donkeys, everything they could find in the fields and within the city. On top of that, they seized all the wealth, captured the women and children, and emptied out the houses, leaving the city completely devastated. When Jacob found out, he was horrified by what Simeon and Levi had done. He feared the backlash from the neighboring peoples, who might seek revenge against his family. But the two brothers stood by their actions, outraged at the disgrace brought upon their sister. Revenge is never the path to true justice. It only fuels an endless cycle of pain and violence. On the other hand, open dialogue and the pursuit of peaceful solutions are essential values that continue to teach us important lessons even today. Human dignity is non-negotiable, but our decisions should be guided by wisdom and empathy, seeking to build rather than destroy. Even though Shechem's brutal act was inexcusable, his father and the people of the city shouldn't have had to pay the price for something he did alone. The deception and violence carried out by Dinah's brothers don't reflect the true essence of God, which is rooted in mercy and forgiveness. Simeon and Levi's extreme reaction to avenge their sister's dishonor ended up bringing serious consequences upon their entire family, showing that impulsive choices can have lasting effects. And if you've made it this far, don't forget to drop a like to support the channel and subscribe for more Bible stories like this one. And if you're curious to learn about Jacob, the man who wrestled with God, I'm leaving a card right here on the side. Just click and watch. See you next time.